Hey guys, welcome on into a new video. My name is Nick.
I'm Shannon.
Today we are finally doing a long-awaited video.
Our whole pin collection.
We've been avidly collecting Disney pins for about the last 5 years, so we've accumulated quite a few pins, and today is finally going to be the day we actually go through all of them to show you guys our collections.
Yay, finally, because everybody wants to always see them. So, we collect way too many things, way too many things. We started off with just cars, and now I have all the princesses. I have Nemo, Monsters Inc., Winnie the Pooh. He collects Star Wars.
So there's my main collection over there.
But way too many things, so let's go through all of the collections. Okay, we're gonna start off with the dino pins, because look at this board. It was just perfect for dino pins. We thrifted it in Goodwill, and it's actually almost full. But here there's a lot of wrecks in this one because there's not a lot of dinos. This one everybody loves. It's actually a fantasy pin. Black Wolf pins. There we go. I get that question a lot. So Black Wolf pins. Made that one. But there's a ton of them. You wouldn't think that they had this many dino pins, but they do. And I love them. On this board, I have the Tinkerbell and the Peter Pan pins. I actually love Peter Pan so much. But I only have a couple pins of him because there are so many Peter Pan pins and they're kind of pricey. So I only keep the ones I really, really love. This one's a fantasy pin. And then down here, this one opens. I have some of Tinkerbell's friends down here. The main collection on this board is Tinkerbell. I just love how sparkly all her pins are and all the plants and stuff that come on her pins. This one is super cool because it lights up. On this little pin board that we have yet to hang up, we're actually running out of room. There used to be Nemo pins up here, but I took them off because I need to put them somewhere else. There's no room for them. But we have Winnie the Pooh. A lot of the new pins are up here. I'm still on the hunt for some of them from the mystery box. We actually traded for this one at the pin event on the pin boards, the special limited edition pin boards. It was so much fun. Winnie the Pooh pins are just kind of my weakness. They're just all so cute that I need them. This one's supposed to be a little pin book. I love it so much. And then this one's also one of my favorites up here. And then over here we have Monsters Inc. and Monsters University. That's one of my favorite movies too. I actually like University better than Monsters Inc. But there's this one right here. It's a little VHS. So cool. And then this one's a door. And it opens up and it's them. But I like to keep the unique ones of them because I can't collect everything. But I think they all look so cool together. For the Nemo pins, I just put them on a GoPin Pro page right now because I need to buy some more cork boards. But I just can't get rid of them. I thought about it, but I can't because look at the colors. I love them so much. This board that we thrifted, so it has the Paris in the background, but it is my Mickey and Friends pin board with a bunch of other random stuff, like my tiny pins, which we'll get to. But first, up here I have a bunch of Mickey and Friends, and then pins that mean a lot to me. Like this one was one of our favorite pin trades we ever did in the beginning. We traded for one of the autograph books. I love it so much. This jumbo pin over here is so cool. I don't collect surfing or anything, but I just thought I needed it because it's just so cool. It's Mickey surfing. And then over here, Nick gifted me this one. I love it so much. And then down here we have some Daisy and Minnie Mouse type of pins. Actually, I have more somewhere else. I don't know where I put them though. But down here, I have a small little collection of film pins because I love film and that's what I was studying in college. But this one's my favorite because look at Kermit's feet. I have a tiny little collection of Duffy and Friends down here because who can't collect Duffy and pins? Like, look at them. All their pins are so cool over there. Okay, over here we have the tiniest pins. I don't have a ton of tiny pins because that's a lot to collect. There's a lot of tiny pins now with their Tiny Kingdom collection. But I think I have one of the tiniest pins ever. Right here. This one's a Piglet. Look how tiny. I can't get over it. Oh, go back in. Okay. And then down here, I also have some food pins. These are pins I just can't help but collect because they're cute. I also have a small collection of Space Mountain pins because that's my favorite ride in Disneyland, not Disney World. That one's just entirely different. It's not as good as a ride. But this one moves. I love that one. And then this one's probably my favorite of the space pins. Oh, actually this one too. Everything else in this book is pretty much holiday pins. So lots of Halloween and lots of Christmas. There's even more like this big one right here. Some Halloween pins. Some more Christmas pins. They're just everywhere in this book. I even have some Easter ones.
Okay, now that we are about halfway through Shannon's collection, let's go ahead and show you guys my Star Wars pins. Alright, let's go ahead and start going through the pins. So, there are a couple of Shannon's pins that are mixed on here, like the Brony Grogu.
You were going to tell me that you're not going to keep that. Like, look at it. We needed it.
So this is one of my favorite pins, actually. It is a little Star Tours from the Diamond Decades, which was Disneyland's 60th anniversary, and it is a spinner pin. So it has Vader on one side, and then you flip it over, and then you got a little hologram of Yoda on this side. There's some Jar Jar pins, some of the droids from a mystery box, some Boba Fett ones, and oh, this is another one of my favorites. There is this one. So this is from like an old Disneyland commercial. This will be a day long remembered Darth Vader.
I like that one.
This one's a very glittery Wookiee.
I like that one too.
And then, of course, I love my jumbo pins. So this one's really awesome because you got all the clone troopers and Jango on the center. This was part of a Star Wars Weekends limited edition set. So this one's really hard to get, as well as this one. So this is my prized possession in the dead center. Of course, we got the Star Wars little cluster in the middle. That was another Star Wars Weekends one. Star Wars Weekends has so many really great and really awesome pins. There's a lot of them out there that I just have not had the opportunity to come across, but I definitely have some ISOs on that list. But this one's pretty cool. So this one is a Loungefly lenticular Darth Vader. There we go. Now I can get it. You got Vader's helmet, and then of course we got Obi-Wan and Anakin. Over here, so this one is a really cool series, the little circle. These ones are limited edition of 6,000. I don't remember what year they were released, but they probably came out like 5 or 6 years ago. And even though they have such a big edition size, they are so hard to come across because I think they've found a lot of their forever homes, so there's not a lot of them in circulation. The Clone Trooper helmets up top there, those ones came out of a, I forgot what it was. Actually, but they're not Disney ones. And then this one here, this is an Acme Super Jumbo of the Millennium Falcon.
I like.
Yeah, and that one's limited edition of 100, so that one is another really rare pin. And of course, I got a couple more Clone War Jumbos. We got the Mando helmets. Oh, yeah, this is one of my first fantasy pins I ever got. I got this one probably in like 2018 when we were trading in Frontierland in Disneyland. I saw this guy who had this Jumpman Kylo Ren with the BB-8 little spinner. And I just had to have it.
It was a need.
So yeah, I've hung on to that one for quite some time. And then we got another one of the Clone Troopers in the corner. There's this one. We got Mickey and Minnie as some Stormtroopers.
Over there is mainly my pins over there.
Yeah, this is from a little magazine series that it's really hard to find these, so I only have the Dooku one.
Because there's a porg.
Yes, and then Shannon has a couple more of her pins over here, like this fantasy of It's a Small World with the porg, hula dancing on there. But, yeah, that is the bulk of my Star Wars collection there. I still have some empty spaces for it to fill that guy up.
And then down here we have our tiny Harry Potter.
Just a couple Harry Potter pins on there.
It goes with our toad that we got from the thrift store. Alright, it's finally time to get into the princess pin boards. Yeah, I have more than one princess board and I'm actually running out of room. But over here, I have a bunch of the collections that I don't have every pin of yet. So I want to keep track. Like, I love these thrones. They're really hard to come across right now. Like, they're older, so there aren't that many of them. And a lot of the Loungefly pins that I still need a bunch of. But down here I have some Snow White pins. I just love Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. I love the dwarves. Look how tiny they are. I just needed that tiny little set. And then there's a bunch of bigger pins that are super cool. Like this one. Down here, this one opens. So sparkly. And there's one for like every princess, I think. Over here, this one's a Loungefly pin. And Dopey comes up and down. And then this one is a vinyl. It comes out. Let's see if I can get it. Oop, there it is. I just needed that one. But I love the jewel aspect of this movie, so I needed to have a bunch of Snow White pins. Like this one and this one. I don't have the rest, but look how sparkly they are. Next, we have my Rapunzel and Tangled pins. I love Rapunzel. She's my favorite. And Flynn Rider's my favorite too. So that's one of my favorite movies in general. This one is super cool because it has little sparkles in it. And then it opens up and Rapunzel's inside. One thing I have to say about Rapunzel pins is sometimes they really just don't get her face right. If you know what I mean. Like, it's hard because she's a different animated style. But I do like a lot of them. Like this one. I love this one. And then this one is a big one too. And it has little sparkles and it's her little friends. And then over here I have Olaf dressed as Rapunzel. I just needed to add that one in. So cool. And next we have Ariel's little corner. I love her pins because the colors are just so pretty. Here's her little castle. So cool. Oh my gosh. I forgot I had this little tiny Ariel right there. But I also have Olaf dressed as Ariel. And then there's just a bunch of really pretty pins of her. Like the Jingle Hopper right there. And then this one is so cool. And then this pin down here, this is the first ever pin that we ever went to a pin drop for at the parks. So they dropped this pin in the morning and everybody rushed to get inside and try to find them and buy them. It's a really cool pin. It's the Windows of Magic. And then the last little section on this pin board is Princess Tiana. I love Princess Tiana. She's one of my favorites. So I had to collect a bunch of pins of her. I have the big circle one again for her. And then down here, this is a fantasy pin, but I think it's so cool because it's Splash Mountain, and they're changing Splash Mountain to the Princess Tiana ride. I don't know what it's called yet, but then we have this one. It opens up. I love the sparkles, and there's just a ton of really pretty ones of her. This one especially is my favorite. You want to... He'll tell you the story about this one.
So the story behind this pin here, this is actually probably the most valuable pin in Shannon's collection because it was actually never supposed to be released. So this pin came out in 2010. It was a mystery box, and at the last second, they decided to pull it and not even release the set. But what had happened this day when it was supposed to come out is some of the boxes actually made it onto the shelves, and some people ended up purchasing them. So a couple of them got into circulation, but not a lot. So it is really hard to come by this set in particular.
How much is it worth?
I've seen other ones. I haven't ever seen a Tiana one for sale, but I've seen the Alice one. Someone was trying to sell it for like $600 or $700. So that is a very pricey, very rare pin.
A bunch of different princesses and characters. And on the second princess pin board, we're gonna start off with Beauty and the Beast. Look how many pretty pins there are of Belle. I love this one. It's a lenticular, the mirror, and it's supposed to go to Beast and Belle. So cool. There's also this one right here. I love that it's all the little characters. I like to keep these ones in my Disney pin Loungefly holder, which is the rose in the glass. And they just all look so cool together. Down here we have Princess Aurora pins and then just a little section of Merida. They don't make that many pins of her, but I had to have a little section for her. Over in Aurora's section, there's a lot of pink. They love to make her with her pink dress. This one is so cool. I love it. They're so cute. And then over here, I love this one right here because it's Minnie and Mickey dressed as Princess Aurora and her prince. And I have the circle. Over here, I have two little mini sections of Moana right here. And Elsa and Anna. Look how pretty they are. I love this one so much. And in the corner over here, we have Princess Jasmine. And she has a little castle that opens up. But she has a lot of purple and blue. So they are so pretty together. This one's really pretty too. I think it's from Pink a la Mode. And then this is the pair of ears. They just came out with the set of all of them. And I love them so much. Over here, we have a tiny little section of Pocahontas. She's not my favorite, and they don't make a ton of pins for her anyway, so only a little section. Over here, we have all the princesses together, just any that didn't fit into a collection that I needed to have. And then up here, there's Mulan. I love Mulan so much. And her pins are always so cool. Like this one, I love the blue. And this one, this one's a fantasy pin, but look how cool it is. And then down here, this is actually an official Disney pin. The last section is Cinderella. I saved it for last because look, she has the biggest pin. It's the castle, the Cinderella castle that they made for celebrating Disneyland's 50th. But all the pins around look so pretty with the castle. This one's another fantasy pin that I really love. And then I just love the little birds too. And then down here, the very little tiny ones. It's just so pretty.
So now that we've gone through all those, it's time for the grand finale, the Cars pins.
Yay, ka-chow. Okay, let's start off with my pin cone. I just had to have a cone to put my pins on once I got the idea from California Adventure because they had one to trade with. And it just looks so cool, doesn't it? We'll start on this side right here. I have them all grouped by character because I thought that would be the easiest way to be able to track which ones I have, even though I forget to take photos. But anyways, we have Red over there. We have a bunch of the friends over here. They don't have that many pins of them, and they need to make more. Luigi and Guido are right here. I love them so much. Up in the corner are some of the newer characters from the movies, like Cruz Romero up there. So cool. I love the bumper pins so much. In the middle, I kind of grouped them by like Cars Land and places in Cars Land and like movie logos. But maybe I need to redo that. It looks a little messy. Anyways, here are all the Cars logo pins. I love this one because you open it up and McQueen pops out. And I also love the piston cup right here. This one's so cool. But down here is a bunch of Cars Land themed pins. Like we have Rollickin' Roadsters. The pin trading logo right here. I love this one. And it even spins. Let's see what's on the other side. Right there. This one's broken, but we're just gonna love her anyway. And then we've got Epcot, Flower and Garden, Cars Land logo. These are some recent ones, but I just love it so much. And in the last little corner of this board, we have the Cars holiday pins, which are some of my favorite kind of pins ever. I just love Cars Land holidays. They decorate it there so well. But they have a bunch of Christmas ones. We have Snowy, the logo for that. And then the Cars Land pins, I love this one so much. It's the Halloween version of the sign. And this is the last little section right here. We'll start off with Sally. I don't know why they don't make that many Sally pins. Like, look how tiny her section is. You'd think they would make more because she's the main, like, love interest. And then we have Mater right here. He has a ton of cool pins of him. I love Mater so much. I love the sparkly Paint the Night one with Mater on it. And this one is especially one of my favorite pins ever because it's the Disneyland map and it says wherever you go, there you are. And he's driving. I love it. There's also Mater on the Speedway. I think that one's really cool too. Just so many cool ones. The very last section is Lightning McQueen, the best section. But there's so many cool Lightning McQueen pins, like this one from Paris that I just traded for with a friend. I think it's so cool. We have so many. This one is one of my favorites from the Studio Store Hollywood. This one has to be one of my favorites because look how big it is. And look, he moves and he's doing his little tongue thing. It's so funny. And then down here we have the iconic bumper. And we have Cozy Cone from Loungefly. Look, I love it.
So that was our Disney pin collection.
Yay, we finally showed our whole collection like we've been saying we were gonna do forever.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an overwhelming video because there are so many pins and our collection is constantly growing.
Yes, I didn't show the new ones. There's mugs full
There's
of
a whole Mike Wazowski mug full of new pins that need to be added to the board. So after a little bit, we'll probably have to make another collection update video.
But if you want to see the tiny updates, go to TikTok because I always post me putting my pins away.
But other than that, that's going to be all for today's video. So thank you all for sticking around through this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And if you did, be sure to leave us a like down below.
And subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this. Have a magical day.